the church in Kazakhstan is an awesome story. I don't know it perfectly. I probably need to get to know it a little bit better. But basically, the church started there not because, one of the apostles said, let's send missionaries to Kazakhstan. Boom, they sent missionaries there. Actually, President Paul Piper, he and his family basically started the church in Kazakhstan. They moved there because of his work. I think he was working for the oil industry, or something connected with the oil industry. There's a lot of natural oil in Kazakhstan. That's kind of one of the biggest exports. And so he was working there, and he got to know his neighbors. And eventually he invited his neighbors over. They got permission to have a group, which is what you have before you have an official branch. That's before the church is recognized in the country. And so it's called a group, and he was a group leader, and he would hold sacrament meeting in his living room. And eventually he started inviting his neighbors and people that he came in contact with. And slowly they started having people interested in converting to the church. And there were several others, American, LDS businessmen that moved to the city of Almaty for various reasons, and they would go, all meet together in this group, and their influence soon slowly spread, and it got to the point where they were able to seek getting official recognition for the church in the country, and that took a lot of work. One of the first converts, she's pretty well known in the society, and she was a great asset in getting the church founded and started there. And so it's pretty exciting to know that it wasn't necessarily the church saying we're sending in missionaries, but it was just LDS members going, living there because of work or whatever other reason, and then using their just sharing their testimony, sharing who they were, living their life, being examples, and then people were drawn to it. They were drawn to the light, and they were baptized. And a lot of the original people that joined the church, they're the strongest ones today. And there was something about them just being able to be around these good, faithful people. And of course, we know President Piper. He's gone on to do many great things since then. He was a mission president in Russia, and then he was called to be a general authority. He was the area president in the Europe East area, and anyway, he's now in the Quorum of the 70. But it's pretty inspirational to see that. And then I think it took them, I can't remember how many years, but it took quite a while to actually get permission for missionaries to come into the country. And the missionary work was going just as fast before missionaries were there from members preaching than when missionaries actually came. And so there have only been a handful of missionaries to ever serve. When I served there was less than 100 total. I think I was like the 50th or something, 50th or 60th missionary ever to serve in Kazakhstan, which, is pretty cool to think about. And when I was serving there, we didn't wear name tags. We just wore our suits and ties, and we wore name tags when we were in church, but when we were outside proselyting, that we didn't want to ruffle feathers, and there was a lot of kind of fine lines to walk with the government. It's one of the few countries where the members or the population is primarily Muslim. It's not the same. From what I understand, it's not the same, aggressive, I don't want to say aggressive, but anti-Western Muslim as it is in the Middle East and other places like that. And so they were very true to their religion, very, very nice, very God-fearing, very passionate about their beliefs. And anyway, missionaries, once they started coming in, the branch grew. When I was serving there was about, I think, 80 or so people who would actively come. It was only one branch, the only branch in Kazakhstan. And then I was there for about 8 months, and during that time, probably about 20 to 25 people were baptized. And so our little branch grew by quite a bit just in the time that I was there. Also, there were service missionaries who would go to several different cities in Kazakhstan. They would also go to Uzbekistan, which is just south of it, to Tashkent, and they're spreading, trying to open the doors for the gospel to spread into other Central Asian nations. And so the church still has a lot of room to grow. I know that they changed the capital city from Almaty, which basically means southern capital, to Astana, which was kind of centrally located in the country, quite a bit farther. And that, I've never been there. There was a few missionaries that did go there. They accompanied some of the senior missionaries because there was some families that moved up there, and there was talk about starting a branch. And I think they have now started a branch. There was a group for a while there. And the city was built. It was kind of like a new development where almost nothing was there, and then they just started building buildings like crazy. And so you look, and it's some of the most unique architecture in the world, just because a lot of these people had a lot of money from the oil that was coming to the country. But anyway, there's lots of ways, and I'm excited to see how it expands, and once it gets its own mission and gets a lot more missionaries. I'd love to see missionaries actually speaking Kazakh. When I was there, we learned how to speak, bear our testimonies, how to pray, how to get to know someone. That's basically all we learned. And like I said, I don't remember as much as I should. But when we met an ethnic Kazakh person, and then we spoke their language instead of Russian, they should get this big grin on their face, saying, "What is a American doing learning my language, coming here and talking to me?" And it was a really great way to get into their hearts.